お前はもう死んでいる。何？
Please notice me, senpai.
Here to bring you another fun-filled, action-packed, information-driven, and non-fact check night. TARP After Dark, ladies and gentlemen.
That's right. There is absolutely zero fact checking done by anything, especially when.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Our little Goggle slave's not here.
I looked that up on Goggle.
That's right. Kennedy eat shit.
Oh man, I was drinking that coffee and it about came out like Taco Tuesday at midnight. Quickly and abruptly.
That shit was smoother than Metamucil and a water pill.
I don't think that's smooth at all. I think that is
violent.
I think that is
turbulent.
Violent. Terminal.
Turbulent turds.
I was thinking terminal, like, never mind.
It just kills you. It's like your body just ejects so much fucking fluid at one time.
God.
You're just dead.
Oh, man. I wasn't ready for that. That got me.
Just peace out, Girl Scout.
All right. So
it's been 3 weeks since you looked at me.
It has been. It's been 3 weeks since we've done our last one. We're here conquering our fears. We're bringing entertainment to the masses. Y'all done another one with Asher, but was that like a mic issue or something?
Yeah, he has this real bad problem where he wants to look people in the eye when he talks to them. And
how dare he?
And yeah, he sounded echoey on the mic, so we couldn't use it.
Well, Asher, we'd love to have you here, but sadly you are out. I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to say it.
And we're you know, we're doing so successful. We've got so many listeners that we're actually going to be able to afford to make Cody buy his own mic so we can have all of us do this together.
Well, I guess we start rattling things off. What would be the worst sickness that you've ever had?
And I ain't
other than you just shitting yourself.
I didn't do shit.
Was that me?
Yeah,
that was me. Never
not me.
It had to be. We're only doing that.
It was. I promise it wasn't me.
All right, my bad. Man.
Kennedy's got that little air cannon in the next room, just throwing it through one of these light sockets.
You take one of these off, and there's just a wall there with a piece of plexiglass, and he's like, "Yeah,
hey, Paul, try getting reservations at Dorsey and Hour, you stupid fucking bastard." American Psycho.
Oh, I still haven't seen that.
You've got to watch
all of it. At least
that's a good one. No, the worst sickness I've ever had, other than. Fuck, man, I don't know. I've been real fortunate to not be like super duper sick. The flu, I guess.
That's okay.
That's honestly because
I figured you wouldn't remember, so I remembered it for you. We were driving off of 87 heading north to go to work one morning. Mr. Roscoe was sitting in the passenger seat. He said, "Hey, man, pull over at 104. I got to pee." And I was like, "Oh, okay, we'll pull over." He goes in. He's in there for a while. And then Ross comes back out and he just goes, "Something ain't right." I said, "What do you mean?" You went, I don't know. I don't know, man. My dick was tingling and I wanted to pee and nothing came out. I said, "What do you mean?" He's like, "I don't know. Let's just go." We get about 3 miles down the road and he's sitting in the passenger seat. And you just flip upside down. Your feet are like, I'm going to have a sunroof because you would have been like Mr. Bean upside down, your feet out of the car, screaming, "Murder me." I was like, "What is wrong with you?" He said, I'm going to puke. And I'm like, "What is wrong?" And then you were literally hanging out of the car, puking down the side of the vehicle. He begged me to take him to his mother's house. I was like, do we take you to the hospital? And he's like, I can't make it to the hospital. And then we passed what he thought was a hospital. He went, no, wait, stop here. Go back, please. I was like, that's not a hospital, Ross. Oh, God. We finally, yeah, man, that was rough.
Moral of the story was kidney stones, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, I left that part out.
It's all right. It made it all the more suspenseful. Literal as that was, yeah, that is the most painful.
That was one of the biggest kidney stones I'd ever seen.
That's what pissed me off about that, which looking back on it now, it was the luckiest. It sucks and it didn't suck. It cost me a shit ton of money, but at the same time, it's just, because Mom takes me to the fucking ER. And as soon as we pull in, I felt the son of a bitch move out of my ureter into my bladder. And I was like, I feel pretty good now. All the pain's gone. Like, I should probably just turn around and go home. But no, I go in, CT scan, sit there, make Leb watch me get an IV and some shots with a grin on my face.
No.
And then do a urine sample. In the middle of the urine sample, past the fucking kidney stone.
If I could literally have a choice between getting one shot again or having a young child kick me in the shin every day for the rest of my life, I would rather be kicked in the shin by a child every day the rest of my life.
Another shot.
Then another shot. I hate them.
Man, shots just don't bother me. I don't know. I don't know.
It's not the pain as much as
the visual image of a foreign object tearing through your skin.
It's like you've heard me say that before, because that's exactly what it is.
I've heard you say that before.
I don't know. I just can't handle it. It's just like a horror movie going on in my body.
I don't know, man.
Which is like every Saturday night. You know what I'm saying?
I'll tell you what got me over shots. I used to be scared of them. And then I had my first kidney stone when I was 12 years old. And I got poked and prodded on so much.
That wasn't your first rodeo?
No, it wasn't. That's how I knew what it was when we walked out of the bathroom at McDonald's. That's when I was like, hey, it's kidney stone.
That was so comical.
No, I got my first one when I was 12.
You were literally sitting there and I had my gun in the console and you was like, please God, just shoot me and just end it. And I literally grabbed the gun. Ross went, no, wait. I was about to shoot you right in the leg.
If I knew that you could have knocked me out in one punch, I'd have paid you $200.
I could have done it if not in the car. I couldn't do it sitting down. Like maybe if I gave me like a 3-step, like
I had took my head off.
All right, I'm gonna knock you out, and it's just.
I have to teach myself some kind of pressure points that you can override your brain into letting you do on yourself. So next time I get one, I just squeeze my carotid for a minute and pass out.
Yeah, be careful, dude. You squeeze it the wrong way, and then you poop your pants. I didn't pass out. I've soiled myself.
I done gone and shipped my pants.
Oh, God. I done shipped my bed.
But yeah, man, that one I got when I was 12 was worse than that one, in all honesty. Because I knew what it was and the one me and you were in, so I wasn't as scared. Because I just knew I was in for some fucking pain. I was like, all right, here comes. But when I got that first one, I thought it was my appendix about to rupture.
I mean, I hear people talking about them all the time, and like I didn't think it would be that big of a deal until I seen you upside down screaming in the seat. I was like, hey, it looks pretty bad.
It's definitely the worst pain I've ever experienced in my life, without a doubt. See, I didn't even think of that as an illness just because it was like, I don't know, it's just something weird that happens. When I think illness, I think the flu or
that's true.
Getting dehydrated, or I don't know. It's just flu.
Oh man,
flu ain't no fucking joke.
I want to tell one that wasn't me. It was someone else. He was a friend of ours. He was at the house, and there was a long night of drinking that went on. He gets up the next day, and he's like, I don't feel good, and I ain't gonna make it. And he's like, you be fine. And it gets like into the night and the next day, and he's like, no, I'm dehydrated. You gotta take me to the hospital. So took him to the ER, and we got there at like 9 or 10, something like that. And they take him back, and like where the ER is, if you go in to the ER and go straight back on the right, there's one room by itself. So they stick him in there, and time goes by. It's like an hour. Finally, someone comes in. They like just check him, talk to him real quick. They leave and come back. 3 hours pass. 4 hours pass. Things are getting monotonous. I'm getting a little stir crazy. I'm like, man, I'm ready to go. We've been here for 4 hours. And then they came in and it's like, all right, well, he can go once he takes these 2 bags of saline and this bag of liquid vinegar. And I was like, you got to be kidding me. And I was like, man, I don't want to leave him, but we're just going to have to leave him. And the nurse goes out and my buddy Shet reached over and grabbed that bag of vinegar. And all you see was, it was Dakota. All you see is Dakota look over and go, Shep, don't. And he just squeezes the bag and Dakota went out. And I was like, well, you've killed him. He's dead. And we lay there for a minute. We're like watching the heart monitor, like nothing's changing. I'm like, well, okay, that's just terrifying, but he's okay. And then another 30, 40 minutes pass. And we're like, well, there's only one thing to do. We had a blue Sharpie and an orange Sharpie. And we started drawing like little penises as a bracelet around his foot, like an anklet. And we were like drawing him like on his, like pull his sleeves up on his arms and like right here on his side. And then the nurse came in and looked at us, was like, what are you all doing? I went, man, we've been here 5 hours. Please don't get us in trouble. And she just turned around and left and didn't say anything.
What the fuck?
I feel like she should have probably stopped us.
Yeah, that lady was not, yeah.
That was funny. That was a really funny night.
Jesus. That is.
I really thought he killed Dakota. I thought that was it for him.
Yeah, man, it's scary. I'm not sure I'm sure, you know.
Chip was a wild dude.
Wow, man.
I wasn't scared whenever I got pleurisy, but just not knowing what it was. And I thought my heart was going to give out and being at work and then just looking over and be like, we got to leave work now. We got to go. And then you're like, what's going on? I was like, I'm dying. You need to drive. And it's like, well, you turned to go to the hospital. I went, no. I'm dying. I'm not dying in Elizabethtown. You're going to have to drive my corpse back to Richmond. And you're like, you have the most appalled look on your face. Like, don't ask me to do that.
I was just like, all right.
And then,
and at the same time, I was like, probably not a heart attack because
done been dead.
He wanted to go to Elizabethtown.
And then start rattling off my wheel, telling everybody not to fight over my stuff. It was a wild one.
Please, for the love of God, give my milk crates to Brian Disney so he can kiss the next girl that he meets without her having to kneel down.
I didn't say that. Did I say that?
No.
I was about to say
but you should have.
Oh, God. That sounds like something I would say. Right.
This is your last breath. Just make sure he doesn't give too much tongue because it's going to be hitting the roof of her mouth from a downward angle.
It's funny because you're like a half an inch taller than
it's got to be weird kissing Brian Disney because part of you, when you close your eyes and don't see the beard and the bald head, you're like, this is a toddler. I'm kissing a toddler. I'm going to jail.
Oh, if you don't edit that out, that'll be hilarious.
Oh, I'm not. That's staying in.
Oh, Brian.
It's big staying in.
Oh, man.
Test and see which one of my friends are actually listening.
Yeah, we can start doing that. We'll pick one person out a week.
Yeah. Get ready. Because somebody's going to get shit on every week.
Patty, your time's coming. You just get ready. Public enemy number one.
I can't say nothing bad about Patty, man. She's the only person that'll get real wild about Game of Thrones with me.
That is true. A little too wild. No, and wild. We need to replace wild with emotional.
Sober Patty is drunk me talking about Game of Thrones, and I like that energy.
There's a lot of energy there. I can't tell you how many snaps I got from her, and she would be like legit crying. And she was like, do you see these? These are real tears. And I was like, it's real fake tears. I get it.
Real fake tears.
Real fake tears.
God love her heart.
You mean well, Patty.
You do.
We were talking in the last podcast, and I was talking about the cow patties, and Patty had snapped me when she was listening to it. She was like, I really thought you was about to say something bad about me. And I was like, I didn't even know you then.
We did, and then we edited it out.
That is not what we were going to tell her, but it was a good 10 minutes.
Now she's going to be up all night thinking about that. But, no, man. Hey, the fucking get to the hospital. I'll never forget that. I thought you were dying. We're just being real dramatic one.
I can't tell if that's coffee or piss. I don't know which one it is.
Considering you've been chugging coffee like it's going out of style, it's probably a combination of the two. It's probably coffee piss.
Coffee flavored piss. Coming to an IGA near you.
It would be an IGA.
It would be an IGA.
Can't shit on IGA, man. There's one right down from the house, and they're
all right.
They're family oriented. I'll leave it at that.
Well, I like they keep continuity. Their store's gonna suck, so is their family. You know what store I miss?
What's that?
Well, I guess I not miss it. I miss it being in Harlan. It was the Kroger in Harlan. You remember?
I remember it vaguely. But yeah, I can see that.
Kroger.
I like Kroger. Have you been in the new Food City? The updated Food City? It's not new. They've just updated the inside of it in Harlan. Fucking banging.
They finally catch up with the rest of the world.
There's a hot bar in there. There's all kinds of shit going on. You can get sushi. Fresh made at the counter sushi at the Harlan Food City. It's not bad either. I've not tried the one from Harlan. I eat it here in Middlesboro all the time, though.
Really?
And it's not bad.
That is.
I eat lunch at Food City a lot. They've got really good chicken.
Man, I do like the bar out there.
We're just plugging Food City for absolutely no reason right now.
Buy all your groceries at Food City.
Get your value card. Go down there and get 15 things of Tide Pods.
I did not know
$15.
You could get points for buying all your like fuel points.
Yep.
Mom and Dad don't know that. Mom shops specifically at Food City, dude. She's bound to have enough points to get tanks of gas.
I steal Nan and Pap's phone number all the time at the Kroger here and get fuel points at the Kroger. And I'm like, because I got to buy 93. So it's like I get excited.
The bougie life.
Like I get excited when I see gas drop like 191. I'm like, oh shit, I'm still paying like $8 because I got 93. I got to put in this thing. Don't matter. High octane gas is just a conspiracy. That's all it is.
Think so?
No, it's not, but I want to think it is.
I was about to say, I don't know if I agree with that.
It definitely serves a purpose.
But if theirs will make you 93, you might as well just get a jet and fly everywhere. It'd be cheaper.
Right.
I wonder how much does jet fuel cost a gallon?
I would imagine. I know what race fuel costs for a car, and it is insane. So it's probably more than that. I don't know. We haven't got our fucking Google minion in here to check it for us.
Man, I'm going to be honest. I miss having Kennedy in here.
I don't. He's too big. He takes up too much space.
You guys pan out, though, because you don't take up a whole lot of space. Not because you're short. You've been losing weight, dude.
That is,
as a failed attempt at me hiding a short joke.
I get it.
178 cents per gallon.
What?
You heard me?
187?
$1.87.8 per U.S. gallon for the price of jet fuel.
That's like buying gas at the fucking lake.
That's like
from one of the docks.
That was 2015.
Jesus Christ.
I expected it to be more.
I'd rather just... Which I guess if you're flying in a jet, you can afford to pay $187.15 in gas and just laugh. Ha ha ha.
No, 180 cents.
Oh, 108 cents.
Yeah.
Why would they word it that way?
I don't know.
Just say $1.80.
2020, New York Harbor jet fuel swap price is expected to be at $1.86 a gallon. It's literally cheaper to fly a jet, not to buy one, but it's cheaper to fly a jet.
I wonder how many gallons it takes to fill one of them fuckers up, though. I bet that's a lot.
But you could probably follow around one of these first of the month women and base it loosely off how much Mountain Dew they consume. And you just got to go from there. I think it'd be a really accurate number. You know what I'm talking about.
So by using that logic, if my jet has all of its teeth rotted out of the front of it, it's going to be able to fly quite the distance.
I'm going to be honest with you. When you told me there was a ton of pussy here, it's not what I thought it was one person.
A metric fuck ton of vagine right here.
Oh, God. And I hope not.
Just one large woman.
When you call it that leads to believe that there is intercourse happening. It'll be a hard no for me, Tom.
Yeah, I'm more of an outer course guy.
Please, I clearly know what that is, but please explain to everyone else what outer course would be.
Outer course?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, getting...
Is that like space studies?
Outer course is when SpaceX launches a new rover to Mars for NASA. That's what outer course is, because they're going out of the.
And you go up there, and then that's right. You send your dick pics there, and you have to go there and pick them up.
Yeah.
That's a long way on that one.
It's just like Neil Armstrong said, man.
You know his. Go
eat ass and drive fast. That's what Neil Armstrong always says.
I feel like you didn't. I'm gonna be honest with you. I feel like he's never said that in his life. Could you imagine being an astronaut and then having to come back here after all that?
Yeah, it'd be heavy.
Like literally. Imagine having to work out hard every day just to come back and be a lump of flesh in a capsule.
Just to feel that fucking gravity hit and you collapse.
It probably make you feel sick.
It does. They have to put them in not isolation, but like they got to put them in physical rehab for a little bit, depending on how long they've been in 0G, because your bone density weakens and your muscles atrophy because you're not using them. You don't have to.
That's scary.
Yeah. That's why you remember Wally? Everybody was just fucking fatting in that chair. That is accurate.
I didn't see Wally.
The inaccurate part of that is when they all landed on Earth after being on that ship after all them generations, they could walk around.
Not happening.
Your fucking knees would shoot their ACLs out of them like a stinger in middle school, dude. Just pow.
Speaking of tearing ACLs, my sister just tore her ACL and her meniscus, allegedly.
Meniscus? Isn't that what you put an arrow through in a bow?
The whisker biscuit.
Okay. Gotcha.
I see you recycling that one from yesterday. It was good. I didn't think I could laugh at the same thing twice. Here it is.
It's just the delivery.
But anybody can be funny.
It's just the DiGiorno's. That's all it is.
I'm booting you out of here.
She all right? She ain't gonna get no.
They took her to the doctor and there's no surgery, so that tells me it's not tore. It's just hurt.
Yeah, that's good. I watched Dad tear his ACL one time by kicking a pillow. I'm not kidding, dude. He got pissed off, tried to kick a pillow out of the living room floor.
Is he kicking his kilos out?
Yeah, kicking his kilos, dude. We running around like it's fucking Bristol, London or some shit.
A man kicking a pillow and tearing his ACL.
Catch me down on Habersham Alley. I shall whoop thine ass. He did, man. He tore it. Didn't think he tore it. And then we went to Walmart and walked around for about 30 minutes. And I realized I've been walking without him for about 10 minutes. Turned around. He was like trying to fit in the kitty part of the top of the buggy and make me push him around. I'm like, come on, old man. It ain't that bad.
That's funny.
It was that bad.
Dad was telling me about he's going hiking one time, and where the high school sits at HC now.
Yep.
Used to be like a little farm, and he had Mom drop him and our neighbor Estel off, and they were going to go back to Everett's. And Dad said the first 30 steps he stepped funny and tore his hamstring, and he didn't want to say anything, so he just hoofed it all the way to Everett's from there. And they got there and Estel was bragging. He's like, yeah, I smoked a lead up there on the hiking. And I was like, did you say anything? He said, nah, I just let him have it. He wouldn't have believed me at that point anyway.
Yeah, Estel, you have one whole leg over him. Congratulations.
Oh, man.
God almighty. There ain't nothing worse than a torn hamstring, man. That shit hurts.
I beg to differ.
Well, I mean, there it is, but torn hamstrings suck.
Let me go ahead and tell you. I don't know what the medical name for this tendon, muscle, whatever it is, but I was having relations with a woman
your groin.
One night.
This is your groin.
No.
Oh.
It would have felt better if it was my groin. I was doing what the kids would call laying down the law.
Yeah.
And
Gotcha.
I don't know what happened, but right behind the skin of my gooch, it's like someone just severed a tendon. It felt like I got jabbed with a hot poker and I tore my gooch. And I just roll off the bed screaming in pain. And we'll call her Penelope.
She have a pig nose?
No.
You ever watch that movie Penelope? She got a pig nose?
Oh. I thought you knew who Penelope was. She's went by this name before.
Okay.
But she hops off, what's going on? And I'm literally just holding myself, screaming to the top of my lungs. So I had to go to the doctor, called into work for like 2 days over it. And I go in and they ask what happened. And I'm like, I don't know the medical term, but I tore my gooch. They're like, you're what? And I was like, my taint. And they're like, what? I was like, lady, a spot behind my balls. I ripped it. Okay. And she's like, oh my goodness. So I'm waiting to go back, and I get the wheelchair, whole 9 yards. And here I am laying in my gown, and like I'm in the ER, and everyone's like bustling around, and doctor comes in, and he's a tall man who looks like he thumb wrestled professionally. Got these big bare hands, right? It's like he pulled his pin out and I could feel the wind off his hands. I was like, this ain't good. He's like, how old are you, Mr. Lefford? And I was like, at that time I was 26. He's like, all right, so we're gonna send you back. We're gonna give you a CAT scan. A CAT scan. That's not it. And scan my cat. What's it called? Women get them when they're pregnant.
An ultrasound.
I got an ultrasound.
Yeah.
On the boys. Let me go ahead and tell you. Whew, you ain't lived until you've had an ultrasound on the boys. And by that, it sounds like it's fun. It's not. So they go through
Shit's
there.
cold, dude. I've had that jelly on my back before.
I wish it would have been a woman, but it was a dude. And I'm sitting here and he's like, I'm just going to tell you right now, it's going to be uncomfortable. So they slap me up with Vaseline and they're rubbing it all over. And he's like, this is going to be weird, but I need to pin one of your legs back. And I was like, boy, I had never thought someone ever say this to me before in my life. And here he is. He's scanning my gooch. I was like, buddy, you collecting any good data down there? Like, what's going on?
What's that topography look like?
I think you went too far, man. That map's dipping.
You went southwest when you should have went southeast.
Oh, God. So they do all that. I go back in there and he comes back in and talks to me. He's like, I know you're too young for this, but we're gonna have to give you a prostate exam. And I was like, wait a second. Now, I don't know where this lie came from, but there was like a horror story spread to boys in school that when you got your prostate checked that you
came immediately.
Yes. And I was like,
yeah,
I'm in a gown.
What was your first thought?
I'm in a gown,
man. They're going to see my spunk.
And I was like, I don't want to do this. He's like, I don't want to do it either. And I was like, that makes me feel better, but not better, I guess. And
it's a weird way to preface a cum. I don't want to do this.
Fuck you, I don't want to do this.
I don't want to do this. Fuck you, I will do this.
The small part left out. They had found the reason we were doing it. They found a cyst on my testicle. That was like the first time I had the scan for it.
Yeah.
So that's why we're doing it. And I'm like, all right. He rolled me on my side, and I felt dirtier that way. Don't know how. And well, I had it checked. Everything was normal, other than the fact I was a Muppet for like 10 seconds.
Was the gentleman's name Jim Henson?
No, but if I
like Kermit,
if I ever have to go to school, if I have a child and they want to take me to school for like Teacher's Day or show me off for for a talent show, I could be like, well, I was a puppet once. So he was sitting there and he's like, all right, we're going to have to do one more thing. And he's going to have to he's like, I'm going to have to press on this area. And I'm like, don't do that. I can tell you it's going to hurt. And he's like, well, I need to. This dude rears back like he's about to launch a missile. And he just like slams his thumb on it as hard as he can. And I screamed to the top of my lungs. And then I got done. And all you could hear is like a lone heart monitor in the distance. Beep, beep. And I literally grabbed him up like by his jacket. I pulled him close and I was like, if you ever do that again, I will murder you. And he's like trying to push me away. And I was like, you done been inside me? You done hurt me? I was like, I'm going to the police when I leave here. That nurse was like, someone discharge this man and get him out of the ER.
By law, that gentleman's your boyfriend.
It was rough. That was a really awkward interaction to be in. We'll go ahead and say that.
Man, I've had them do that to me before. I was at the nephrologist, the kidney doctor.
I thank you because I was like, man, I didn't know that you was part chia pet.
It's after that kidney stone I went and got myself checked out.
Oh, why?
Huh?
What'd you get checked out for? Go ahead. We'll cut that part out.
Because I thought I was having another one. But he does all the tests and shit.
We'll leave that part out.
And he's like, it's like, I'm going to do a hernia check on you. And I'm like,
yeah, it's weird.
It's not a big deal. You've already used my fucking dick as a telescope. So, whatever.
This is the fleshiest kaleidoscope I've ever seen.
It's only got one shape. It sucks.
You look in there, it's all them crystallized kidney stones, and I was like, hey, don't twist that, son.
Yeah, please don't. You're turning my dick into a pepper grinder at this point. Stop.
Oh God.
He says, a hernia check is give me the side turn on your head and cough. No, this motherfucker like shoves his fingers into the bend of my leg right here, like in my groin, like shoves them up towards my hip and makes me cough. And I was like, dude, it was one of those things.
That sounds really weird.
It didn't hurt per se. Like it hurt, but it was
pressure.
Uncomfortable as hell. Oh, it hurt so. It just made me so it's so weird.
I can't picture that.
Yeah, man, it was. I imagine that's what girls feel like. Well, like first time they're fooling around with a boy and he tries to make the move.
This is where the clit's at, right?
It's the bend of my leg behind my knee.
I'm killing it. Yeah.
Fucking Lord.
Man, people are like that. This is what the thing
Kids
is.
Suck.
Man, I'm telling you, there were some like weird interactions that went on whenever I was younger, like in school. Really weird.
Yeah.
Like I remember one time specifically, there was one kid getting what we call it earlier? Outer what?
Outer course.
He was having outer course in the library.
Yeah.
She was, I'm going to go ahead and quote it, jerking him hard through his jean shorts. End quote.
No, jort jerk.
I don't know. I think that's where the Indian burn originated. Right there from Bird Elementary in 6th grade.
Shame.
6th grade.
6th grade. Lord have mercy.
Kids shouldn't be doing that 6th grade.
No,
Kids should be doing it 6th grade, hoping for a snow day and staying home playing video games.
Playing Pokemon probably too. Like that's.
Yeah, man. I'll never forget. That's back when it first came out. It was in 5th grade. Whenever I was in 5th grade.
I was in kindergarten.
Wow. That's crazy. I'll never forget Jason Sargent. We had a substitute teacher, and Jason Sargent did something. I can't remember what it was. And like, he just wanted to make problems for the class all the time. That's just him.
No, yeah.
And you wasn't allowed to have your Pokemon cards at school. And he went and told the teacher that all of us had all of ours. And she came and collected every single one of them. And Jason Sargent standing over there, and we look over and he goes, DTA, don't trust anybody. And I have never wanted to shoot up a school so bad in my life. That was it. That
little motherfucker deserved a pedigree at that point in time. I mean, Triple H should have just busted through the door. Pow, right through the desk.
Spit hot acid on him. Because Triple H is a lizard.
Snitches are little bitches that get stitches. That's just all there is to it. I learned that at a very young age.
Man,
I ain't never like tattling on no fucking body.
There was a lot of, I don't tattle. I'm not a tattler. Even if it was going to get me in trouble, I would more than likely just go ahead and get in trouble for I tattle on somebody.
Same.
Man, we were rough kids at Verta. Rough. They were so mean. We were in 6th grade. 6th grade, yeah, because it was the last year. When I was in 6th grade, it was the last year Verta was open. There was an art teacher, and I have never seen some singular woman catch such a hard time from kids. Like we would go through and we put Joseph Owens out the window like the window wasn't half the ground, it was about waist level. We threw him out the window and then like locked him out, and we like shut up another kid in the closet, and we were throwing paint like all over the walls, just raising hell. The meanest thing I can remember is she always typically wore like a black dress, and we had got pads, didn't know what they were. We just knew they were sticky. And we had opened them up, and we'd like sit them in her chair, and we was trying to see how many pads we could stick to this woman's dress. Dude, we got 7 pads stuck to this woman's dress.
Oh my God.
The principal was Miss Hale, and she came in there, and
raised hell.
Huh?
She raised hell.
I had never been so scolded at that point in my life. I've definitely been scolded harder. Probably about 2 weeks later, whenever I talked all the boys in 6th grade that the boys' bathroom backed up to the girls' bathroom, and you could go through the ceiling and peeping Tom on the other side.
Oh my God. The adolescent porkies.
And that's exactly what we were. We were hefty kids. We got up there, and I remember me and Jimmy Pike ditching class, and we were trying to get a glimpse at an older woman. We want to know what a woman's body looked like. And he hoisted up my chubby hind end. Like I got to climb on the urinal, and he's like on the other urinal trying to shove me up in there. So I climb up in there, and like it's already hot anyways. And I kind of like moved the ceiling tile over, and he's like, "Hey, somebody's coming." And I was like, "Sweet. I hope it." I'm not going to say the teacher's name. She might hear this. Miss Dixon, I hope it was you.
Oh God.
It was not. It was, I ain't going to say who this was, but I'm going to go ahead and tell you, it was the worst possible person it could have been. It was the most unpleasant person for me to see. We'll say that.
Looked like Miss Trunchbull from fucking Matilda.
If she never
take a shit.
If she stopped doing all of her like Russian style workouts and did nothing but eat.
Oh, the only thing she Krav Maga was pizza, right?
She could take on 5 pizzas for sure.
God love her.
And so she comes in, and then, I can't move because I don't make any noise because I definitely don't want to be caught doing this because honestly, it's weird. Kids shouldn't be doing this.
Yeah, it's a kid thing.
And the next thing I know, she starts violently shitting this toilet to death. It sounds like someone turned on. Hold on. Let me think of a really good. It sounded like someone dropped 100 gallons of pudding through an industrial fan. You could feel the wind off of it. And then the smell came.
Oh God.
And it's already hot. I'm sweating. It smells like just straight booty. And I'm up there trying to not die. And after what felt like it was an eternity, she finally flushed, didn't even wash her hands. I'll never forget that. I was like, that was the equivalent of a murder. And she wouldn't even wash her hands.
Oh my God.
And she walked out, and I finally got down, and I'm soaking wet. And he's like, "What's going on?" I was like, I just shook my head. I said, "Come on." I said, "Just come on." And I walked straight into the principal's office. And she's like, "What's going on?" I was like, "I have a confession to make. Me and all the boys in 8th grade have been peeping on the girls through the ceiling, and I just seen something I never want to see again." She was like, "Excuse me," and I had to explain it in detail, and we got in so much trouble. But they fixed the ceilings. I did not want anyone else to ever have to witness an atrocity. Ain't no wonder I messed up, man. I've seen some weird things.
James Ledford was a martyr.
Oh, God. I was a martyr.
Speaking of weird things, man. Our user submission this week.
I didn't get to see it. What was it?
What's the weirdest thing you've witnessed in public? I mean, we got some pretty snoozy stories. Like one of them, leave them anonymous, but it's my mom.
I mean, yeah, that is right. She did comment on it. Someone messaged me and she's like, "Oh, I'm going to comment."
Yeah, right.
Job, Lisa.
It's okay, boomer.
Okay, boomerino.
But she used to work at Meyer in Lexington, and this gentleman comes to the sliding doors in the front and proceeds to just strip down naked, does his shopping, makes his rounds through all the aisles. How they didn't grab him and be like, "Hey, get the hell out of here."
Do you think they're going to grab him though? Would you grab a naked man if you worked at Meyer?
Man,
I'm not paid enough to work to grab onto a naked man.
Man,
unless that's your thing, and not your thing, but like I'm sure it's someone's thing.
Yeah. No, you're right. I wouldn't be getting paid enough to grab a naked man, but
Still, someone should have been like, hey, yo, dude, cover up your wiener.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's just standing there with like a...
Bro, you got a hot dog out and this ain't even the fucking frozen section. What are you doing?
I don't know where you got them Buckeyes at, bub, but you go ahead and put them back.
Stay out of the deli aisle, man. Please.
I wouldn't know what to do if I was like, I'm working at the counter and, normal day, even the third of the month, I'm seeing some weird stuff that day, but nothing like too weird. Just, just the holler rats coming out. And then all of a sudden I look over and it's just a dude just stark naked.
Just butt naked. Hey, man, can you show me where the quinoa is? Like, what the fuck?
It's like, yeah, I can point you to the clothes section.
Yeah.
How about that?
Yeah.
I would gave him a free pair of pants and a
I'd
shirt.
at least cut a cereal box up and let him put it over his junk. Like, Jesus Christ.
Have you seen the one picture of the dude? He's like in his display and he's got his leg hiked up. He's got his vape pen. He's blowing like a cloud and he's like covering up his junk.
Oh, yeah. That was actually me.
The very first comment I seen on it was, that's not even a big cloud.
Oh, the vape community.
Man, I tell you, I find more entertainment in the comments of things posted rather than the actual post itself. That's where the real comedy's at.
That a doubt. And then, yeah, this dude just shops naked, walks back to the doors he came through, threw his clothes back on, left. Like,
no, time out. So he gets undressed.
Yes, gets undressed. Goes around the store, does his shopping, comes back to the entrance, puts his clothes back on that he left at the entrance, and then goes home. Like,
I don't understand that. Did he fold them?
It's a good question. But yeah, man, I don't. Strange.
Was there any more?
We got one more. This is a friend of mine was sitting at a Waffle House in Pigeon Forge, I believe. He's enjoying his hash browns and his omelet. Probably eating a waffle because he's a waffle king. And
makes sense. I would get a waffle king.
Out in the parking lot, just watch a man get straight up brains blew out by the police.
What?
Yeah. Just right out in the parking lot. Guess he got in an altercation with the police and he just shot him right in the head.
Oh no.
Yeah. Witness the death at the Waffle House.
Was that Goat Man?
It was Goat Man.
It was Goat Man.
It was Goat Man.
He's going to hear this and be like, those mothers.
I always wondered what the fuck was wrong with you. And after you told us about that, I kind of understand now. It's not a complete excuse, you piece of shit, but it's an excuse.
Man,
I'm sorry you had to see that.
I mean, I got dark humor. I'm not going to make any cracking jokes about it, but man, that would just, I wouldn't know what to do if I seen someone literally get like one tap.
Well, I tell you what, I wouldn't be able to do.
Eat spaghetti ever again.
I wouldn't have been able to order a strawberry waffle.
Oh my God. It's because I'm allergic.
He is allergic. It's true.
I'm not ready to touch on that. We'll come back to that one at a later episode.
Really, man, that's the juiciest ones we got. Naked Meyer shopper and
it's
the fucking Waffle House.
Those are two way out there. Yeah, I wasn't expecting to hear
opposite ends of the spectrum. One's fun and playful, makes you a little uncomfortable. The other just rough.
Fun and playful. Fun for the whole family.
The fucker didn't even have a trench coat on, man. Come on.
He should at least had a trench coat on.
And it's,
put the mysterious allure to it.
Just hearing this weird shit though, turned the mixer on in my brain, made me think of some stuff. The weirdest thing I've ever seen in public, and it's a combination of weird and surreal because it's like the whole time it was happening, I didn't think it was actually happening. Like, it was so fucking weird. And it's two things that happened back to back. I was in New York City in 8th grade, right?
Scary.
On a school trip.
That'd be scary to me.
And we were visiting the UN. Visit the United Nations. So me and my buddy get separated from the class and we're walking around looking at all the foreign nationals and shit, just enjoying ourselves. And I see this tiny little Asian woman walking at us in a fedora. I'll never forget it. She had a white and black checkered pantsuit on and a fedora. And I was like,
Asian Hillary.
pretty much. People hate this woman as much as they hate Hillary. And I kept looking. I'm looking. I'm like, I know who it is. There's people following her and shit, taking pictures.
Who was it?
I keep looking. She walks past me, and I'm like, Slusher, it was Yoko Ono, dude.
Oh,
yeah.
no way.
We saw Yoko Ono at the fucking UN.
You've seen firsthand a murderer.
I did. The woman that killed the Beatles. I got to see her in person.
That's actually pretty cool, man.
And like, it's dying down.
People hate her as much as Hillary. That's funnier now.
Yeah. So I keep walking and I'm like trying to process this because it's weird enough. I knew who Yoko Ono was as a fucking 8th grader, but like.
That is true. I would not have known. I wouldn't know her right now if I seen her out.
I mean, the only reason I knew is like one, like it's been clicked already, but I kept hearing people ask for her name and
was
shit.
John Lennon?
Yeah, that's John Lennon's wife.
On a side note, real quick, there was a thing that says, how many of the Beatles are alive too?
There's Paul and is Ringo?
It has to be Ringo.
I think Ringo and Paul's alive. Yeah.
It's like, yeah, this is the only two. It's the only two Beatles still alive, and they're both hashtag vegan. And the first comment was, to be fair, John Lennon didn't get a fair chance at this. Go ahead.
God love him. But yeah, man, I'm coming down from that high of just seeing Yoko Ono, and there is a pissed off Latino man in front of us, suited the fuck out. And I'm being cheeky. And me and my friend have been talking with a British accent all week just to fuck with people because we're in New York, right? I walk up to this guy and I'm like, hey man, how can I help you? In this shitty British accent coming out of my mouth. Like, and he was like, you would think the president of Chile would be able to get somebody to at least escort him to the correct room. And I was like, president of Chile, you say like the country or the food? And like, he don't think it's funny at all. He's like pissed off steaming.
You met the president of Chile?
Shook his hand. Yeah, Chile.
Is it Chile?
It's Chile, yeah.
Time out. Stop. Is it really Chile?
It's really Chile, yeah.
Ross.
Or Chile is how you're supposed to say Chile.
I've been calling it Chile my whole life.
A lot of people do.
Wow.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Me and my buddies just stand and talk to this dude about how it's fucking bullshit that he ain't getting the correct representation amongst all these monster nations, and that they need to make that shit up to him. Like, president of this country is just venting to me and my buddy, and we're like 13 just in New York by ourselves. Walk off, get up with the rest of the group. Nobody believed a word of it. I swear to God on my life, every bit of that happened.
If I was a kid and you told me that, I wouldn't have believed you.
Yeah,
but
why would I lie about seeing Yoko Ono? That'd be the most
so
random
obscure.
fucking pull of all time. Like, I saw Yoko Ono.
It would be a more random pull to say you met the president of Chile.
Yeah.
That's
fucking.
I've been friends with you for a long time. I have never heard that.
Yeah, man. It was in the deep recesses of my mind. I just forgot it happened, and I kept thinking. I was like, man, some weird shit's happened. Man, it's by far the weirdest back to back.
That is weird. That
whole fucking day was weird.
I ain't got nothing like that. I'll tell you where a part of my dislike for, and no one's going to like to hear this, my dislike for the Kentucky Wildcats came from.
I don't give a fuck.
It started, we were going to visit Memorial Coliseum. Is that what it's called?
Is it the one they always play like the blue and white game? Yeah.
All right. So we're going on it's called Gear Up. It was like a little program. They take kids and take them out to colleges and pretty much get them out of Harlan. Man, time out. I'm not going to sit here and ride Gear Up's stirrups into the sunset, but that was such a good program for kids in these holler towns.
Yeah.
Because it literally, it didn't cost us nothing. It was money that they allocated from, I have no idea where, but they took us all out and took us to hotels. They took us to UNC, took us to Duke, took us to UK. Man, it was really cool. That was something like, I would have never got to see all that as a kid.
And that's something you don't think about a lot when you're growing up there. But I remember I got in trouble and had to do some court designated classes. I'm not going to say what it was for, but here I am in a room with a bunch of delinquents doing my time. Kiddie court pretty much at this point. And
not quite juvie, but well on your way.
Yeah, if I wasn't changing my shit, it was going to happen.
Oh, like IE.
Yeah, except it was
out of school.
Yeah, I had a CDW is what it was. A court
Oh,
designated
dude, you gotta have one of those to
worker.
drive like a tractor trailer.
Exactly. So I had a court designated worker because I was too young to like actually get in trouble.
Okay.
And I hadn't done anything really that bad.
I know
was
exactly
just
what you're
hanging
talking
out
about
with
now.
the wrong people. I was too
That's
young.
how it all starts, man.
I was just hanging out with the wrong people. This changed this work though. Like I quit. I don't like getting in trouble. I've never liked being the kid that causes problems, contrary to what everybody I went to fucking school with thought. But I'm in this room, all these people, all these kids, and they're asking us, they're like, hey, you know, what's like 5 places you've been outside of Harlan? And everybody's like, I've been to Middlesboro. I've been to Cumberland. Hell, I went to Lexington one time. It was banging. Just all this weird shit, right? Like not been that far out of Harlan. And they get to me and I'm like, man, I've been to Boston, Massachusetts. I've been to New York. I've been to New Jersey. I've been to Baltimore, Maryland. I went to Chicago a few times. Been to Florida. I'm rattling all shit. And they're looking at me like I'm an alien. And that sounds bougie AF. But it's all just school trips, man, because I was always in beta club and the academic team and shit. So they took us to those places. And I just felt so bad for everybody in that room. Like, God, it was awful.
I can see that.
Like, get them kids the fuck out of the mountains. It ain't no wonder nobody leaves that place, man. They don't realize what the fuck's going on in the real world.
There is I won't before I get off topic, I'll go ahead and get off topic again real quick. The last girl that I was dating, we as a family member, I guess per se, I probably shouldn't even say my ex-girlfriend, but this person that they know will say that. The kids are like 9, 10 years old, and then the other one's a couple years younger and hasn't had like one day of school. Not a single day of school. And they're supposed to be quote unquote homeschooled.
Nope. I think homeschooling is the worst thing you can do.
I think if you're going to homeschool someone, you should have a degree.
Well, it ain't from learning it. Because like I've got friends that were homeschooled. They're smart, you know. You lose that valuable social skill.
I could see
You're
that.
not like, you just don't pull kids out of school and they're getting ready to go to high school because you're afraid they're going to get made fun of, man. Like, or whatever it is. Everybody needs to be fucking bullied. I said it. That's an unpopular opinion. But like, that is a small adversity that you're going to face as a young person that's going to teach you how to deal with bigger problems when you're an adult that you need to go through.
Yeah.
It's a hardship someone needs to experience to know how to overcome that objection as an adult.
I mean, imagine going.
It fucking sucks, but life fucking sucks. And you need to learn that pretty quick.
Imagine floating through school and nothing bad ever happened to you. And even like your first year or two of college and nothing bad happened to you. But like life is like, it's like waiting around the corner with a bat.
Yeah.
Because okay, for example, someone who has had the luxury of being super financial stable and they go on their whole life never having no issues with money. And then all of a sudden it's like parents are like, okay, it's time for you to be out on your own. And it's like, what do you mean ramen noodles?
Yeah.
You know, stuff like that.
Oh yeah. Get smacked in the face with a big reality stick.
And it's unfair. I see that happen to a lot of people. And then everyone else is like, I can't believe you're going to be complaining like that. You have it so good. And I'm like, well, it's not their fault because that's the first time they're experiencing that.
Yeah.
And that's how they're reacting.
Ignorant to it.
Yeah. Just because don't be sour because you had a bad hand and someone else is now getting a bad hand. If anything, people should understand and be like, hey, I get it. This is what I did. This is what helped me. Is what it should happen, but that's not what happens.
You know, if you don't go through that shit, it doesn't teach you to value when shit's good.
Yeah,
look at poor people. You ever see videos of people in these third world countries? They're happy as a motherfucker.
Oh yeah, whenever we did some work out on Donnabrook in Lexington, and what it was, the church, I do pest control, and this church had possession of this row of townhouses, and it was like 3-story townhouses. So there was like 16 units in it. And what happens is this church would bring these people from legitimate hut, dirt mound houses, and they'd bring them over here and they get 1 year to learn English, learn how to do their taxes, like learn how to be a part of society. And then they put them out and get them, their green card and all that stuff. And they put them out and they bring in a new set of people. And like I go in and, their electric and stuff is paid for, but none of them have the AC on. It's like 90 degrees.
Yeah.
And every one of them have a legitimate handmade like mortar and pestle in their kitchen. It was just wild to see.
Happy as a lot.
Yeah, they were like even like more static than happy because they were like running around with like these Motorola Gen 1 flip phones and thinking that was the craziest thing they'd ever seen.
Because they've been through hell and they know how to appreciate when shit starts. They know to appreciate the little things.
And they had bed bugs all over they were all over the place, but they were like completely unaffected because, down there, I'm sure they have like fire ants and just ants and bugs and spiders and everything because these huts aren't completely closed in.
Yeah.
Which is crazy because the assassin bug, they call it the kissing bug.
Yeah.
They get down there, it's such a big deal because these houses, they can't do exclusion work because you can't keep them out.
Right.
What's it called?
Kissing bug's trichome, man.
How'd you look at you retaining information?
That's right, dude. It's because it's family of the bed bug.
And they give you chagas.
Big chagas.
Big chagas. And for those who don't know what chagas is, you can come in contact with chagas and then activate 10 years later and cause heart failure. That's terrifying.
Yeah.
But
big hearty, no. Big stoppy.
To get back to why I had a dislike for the Kentucky Wildcats. We were going to the Memorial Coliseum, and there was this girl who I was like super crazy about. So she's like hanging out in the back, trying to be super cool. I'm back there, me and her's like hanging out in the back, and I'm trying to be funny. And we're walking in a line, and there was like this guy went walking by, and he looked so familiar. Could not for the life of me think of who it was because he was taller and thinner, like a lot taller and a lot thinner than what I pictured him being on TV. And it was Tubby Smith.
Yep.
I pictured Tubby Smith being like short and round.
Because he's surrounded by these fucking 7'8" monsters, and it makes him look like he's a
Tubby
big
Smith
dude.
was straight up. I don't know how tall he was, but he looked like he was like 6'4", 6'3". He looked very tall. And
probably every bit of that.
And I was like, oh snap, that was Tubby Smith. And she's like, no, it's not. And the group, they were like talking and stuff, keep going forward. And I was like, no, that's Tubby Smith. And I was like, okay, I was yelling. I was being a complete idiot. Like, Tubby Smith, look at me. It kept going on. He like walks out and goes to get in his vehicle. He's parked in the front. And I'm like beating on the window going, Tubby Smith. And he flips me off. He straight up flipped me the bird. And I went, oh, you asshole. So I flip him back off and he just pulls out and leaves. And I disliked the Kentucky Wildcats for the longest time for that.
Man, you just happened to pick one of the shittiest fucking coaches they ever have and caught him on a bad day, probably.
I mean,
I bet Rip Pitino wouldn't have done that to you. He'd brought you a hooker and been like, why don't you come hang out with us?
I really liked Rick Pitino. But I guess in his defense, I mean, there was this Chad looking kid beating on the window, screaming his name. I was being super obnoxious, but still, he didn't have to flip a child the bird.
No,
that is an ill taste.
Pretty shitty of you, Tubby Smith.
I'm sorry I couldn't be a poor point guard like your son. Tubby, if you're listening to this, I forgive you.
Oh God, when your handles are really just more like cleats. God mighty.
I mean, I see a lot of like small weird stuff, like at work. You know how it is at work.
It's because we're in the underbelly of it all, man.
It's not even the soft pink underbelly. No. It's like
it's the fucking cockroach ridden, chagas laden underbelly.
If you could, I'm just gonna paint a picture for anyone listening. I want you to picture an apartment, but it was an ashtray instead, and in that ashtray, you just threw all your slop down the floor. That's what a lot of these places are like.
Yeah.
It was before you were working. Went to a unit. Obviously, I won't mention where, but I go through and it's a very heavy set woman. She's confined to like a medical chair. And whenever, you know how you go through and like someone's got like a couple of clothes out, maybe some stuff on the floor. And it's like, oh man, there's no room to walk. I'm so sorry. I'm like, no, it's fine. No big deal. It's not even dirty. Like, you're fine. When I say there was only enough room to walk, there was enough room to walk 1 foot in front of the other, a path into the bathroom. You couldn't even like step clearly into the bedrooms. It was so nasty. It was like Taco Bell and KFC and like just fast food, literally up to my waist. And this woman's sitting here, food all around the thing. And I said, ma'am, this is a fire hazard. you're never going to get rid of your roaches with your house looking like this. And I was like, we got to get someone in here to help you clean this place. Like, do you not have a daughter or something? And before I could say anything, I look over to where I'm assuming the couch is supposed to be. I can't tell because there's so much garbage, and it starts moving. And I just went, lady, if someone pops out of that garbage, I'm turning around and walking out of here. And then I'm not kidding, dude. As sure as I'm standing here, you just see like some garbage pull back, and it was her daughter. She just submerged herself in this trash.
I'm the trash man. I throw trash out in the center of the ring and eat it.
She had
fucking Frank Reynolds popped out of there.
She had the audacity to look at me and be like, yeah, we made a little bit of this mess last night. And I went, oh, for crying out loud, and turned around and just walked out. I was so upset, I guess, for the woman. Ain't no way to live life.
Oh, man.
But we ended up getting back in there, and you go into the bedroom, and there was you know how you can get like a loaf of bologna, like King Cole bologna? It was a whole loaf, and it had partially, about halfway, melted. I don't know if that's the word.
Jellied bologna.
Not really jelly. It would be like the consistency of, it would be like the consistency after getting a number 8 from Taco Tico and about 4 hours later.
Ugh.
If you could fuse your poop with a sponge, that's what it looked like.
Ugh.
It was just sitting there, and I'm like, it was ridiculous. I ain't never seen something so bad.
Speaking of roaches, I think one of my favorite memes I saw this week is like when a girl goes out with you and she's like, I've got to have a man that's got a job, financially stable, a nice car, and buys me nice things. And it cut to her apartment, and it was Joe's apartment, and the cockroaches dancing and singing in the bathroom.
I'm about to go down there and rent Joe's apartment.
I love
because
that movie.
As pest control, I think I would really enjoy it now. I forgot, if we're going to do like the memes that kind of got you through the week, it's this one that, where'd it go? Did I delete it?
Man, I saw some.
Your girlfriend posted it.
Oh God.
And it was, it's got 2 people shaking hands. And on one side it says sub watcher. And then it was a dub watcher, and both of them shaking hands. And on the middle it says saying both is okay because it's anime. And then the next frame is the sub watcher washing their hands.
It's the truest shit in the world.
That's funny. I had never seen someone get so much grief over watching watching
dubbed anime.
Yeah, dubbed. Other than you. Whew.
What's the matter? Can't you fucking read and watch fast enough? God, it makes me so mad. I just don't. It's gotten to the point now where I watch everything with subtitles too. Because I live in this household with all these fucking people that just scream and hoot and holler all the time, and I can't even enjoy a movie. I have to watch porn with subtitles just to know what's going on. Like, it's...
Ross.
I mean, there ain't nothing but a bunch of clap. I saw one the other day that said, "Who's turned macaroni?" Porn, legitimate porn subtitle. Macaroni stirring intensifies.
I wasn't ready for that. You got me on that one.
But now I watch dubbed anime with subtitles. So what you got for those people? Those fucking degenerates.
True, man.
Come at me. God, people get so tore up about the stupidest shit.
All right, what is something that people get tore up about that you think is stupid other than what we just talked about? Like, what's something that just grinds your gears that people's gears get grinded about?
Man, I'm going to be honest with you. And I
would hope so.
This is a serious topic, but it just makes me so unbelievably upset. Is when I see people posting like these, not political, but it'll be like a screenshot from a conversation someone's having, and it'll
like
be
a Tumblr post.
Yeah, and be like, this is every Christian talking to somebody. Like, it ain't love, it's hate, just masked by a blood sacrifice. I happen, blah. I'm like, just have some goddamn respect for people. like
Whoa. What a word choice, Ross.
Man, it just
No,
I can't stand to see anybody get shit on for any kind of belief like that. Like, what the fuck does it matter?
I am a super Christian man, and I make sure that I do go out of my way to not per se shove something down someone's throat. But man, they get a bad rap, and a lot of it is Christianity's fault. And I will say that because you have the wrong people.
Well, it ain't even just Christian. It's these people they cherry pick out of these radical ass groups and then attach that face to the whole community, and that's not how the whole community
is. Like Joel Osteen. Well, I think Joel Osteen is a sham.
He is.
The whole city flooded, and he would not even homeless people. He wouldn't let anyone come in and stay in his big super mega church. You know, that place that promotes love and worship, and you can't even like extend your hand to help out your fellow man. Nah, dude, that's not.
Yeah, I ain't.
In the famous words of me, that's not very Christian at all.
James Ledford, 316. I don't know, man. I just don't. And I see a lot of that on Facebook, and it ain't just Christianity. It's all these political posts, and just be nice to each other.
Yeah, it doesn't cost a dime to be nice.
Unless that person's just a legitimate piece of shit. And
well, even at that point, man, those people get their just desserts in due time.
Yeah, but like if they're deserving of it, still sucks, whatever. But just because somebody likes a different sport than you, to put it in layman's terms, don't fucking crucify them. Like, man.
I tell you what I can't stand. I can't stand people who typically get on the internet who don't have the intelligence to weigh in on what they're speaking about.
Oh, these people that just have layman's knowledge and not even that, and they're all of a sudden.
But what gets me more than anything is you'll have this one person who's seen, they see like a headline or read a part of an article.
Oh God.
And then they adopt that as their opinion.
Yeah.
And then they can't go any further. Then it just stoops to name calling.
That's why the Onion got started. That's why the Onion's
Man, the Onion, that's fun. I'll never forget reading the Onion for the first time as I'll never forget. I just don't know what it was about. I just remember thinking that is no way that's real. And I was like looking at it, reading it up, and I was like, I can't remember. It was something like really obscure. And then I looked at posted it, and it was Eads. I messaged Eads. I said, dude, did that really happen? And he made me, Chase Eads, you made me feel like a complete and total moron. It's like, dude, this is like one of those lull sites where it's funny. And I went, all right, well, I feel real smart right about now. Oh, dude, shout out for Chase Eads. I know that spring's coming soon, dude. That means you're going to be collecting some more honey. And when you make that honey, I know what's coming next. Eads Meads.
Eads Meads.
2020.
Shout out to Eads Meads.
So
if he don't die of old age before he can brew
it. Man, he's up there. He's like 60.
Yeah. Getting old, Eads. I hope you got your AARP shit figured out.
Well, that's probably why he's dating Diane, so she can take care of him.
Probably.
Well,
it's a good choice.
Good choice.
A good person to take care of you.
Well, just remember, Eads, don't ever write us out of your will just because we're poking fun at you. You can't. I don't think he's really 60. I think he's like 57.
He's getting there. He's getting in the golden years. Still has the mind of an 8-year-old.
Man, Eads is my favorite person to like give a hard time to. There's nothing. I just sit and lay awake at night and dream of ways I can mess with Eads. I came a stone's throw away one night with me, and it was me, Jessica Barrett, and is Kendra, and then I think Christian was with us maybe. And I had these 2 bags full of Orbeez. And I had bought specifically, filled up the sink, and they like kept spilling out of the floor because they kept getting bigger. And I thought they were going to, and it was like freezing out, and I was going to like put him in his car and then take the rest of them and shove them in his cat's house outside so the cat couldn't get back in. But I was like, it's freezing. He can't do that. And like, he wasn't home or something like that. And I don't know, Eads, one day you're going to have something weird happen.
And it's going to be James Ledford.
Yeah, it's going to be me. You're going to walk out and you're going to look at your car and you're going to see it and be like, lad. I know exactly what it is. I'm not going to say it on here, but
Yeah, I know. We've been plotting this one for a minute. Still need that address. If anybody has Chase Eads' address, why don't you go ahead and DM that to us?
Yeah, I will not tell who dimed him out, but someone gave me a map drop, a pin drop where his house is. I was just afraid I would put this object on the wrong car.
This is a preemptive strike, Chase Eads. You better have your fucking Patriot missile systems ready to knock that shit out of the sky because it's coming.
Do you know what it is? Did I tell you what it is?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh man, I can't wait. We'll do a breakdown play by play after it happens, and we'll do like a little mini sode about it.
Yeah. Yeah, that'll be a good story.
There's a picture floating around of Eads on his 23rd birthday, and Eads took 23 shots on his birthday, and the last thing of the night was him sitting in the bathroom, and all you can see is like this horrified look on his face and him trying to cover his eyes. And then it's Josh Hensley's bare hind end is like poking in the frame out of the other one. And I'm not sure what was going on, but it was really strange. We were at all right. So oh yeah, your mom was our landlord when we lived downtown. I forget about that all the time. Okay. So you know how mine and Eads' rooms are set up?
Yeah.
It's like, okay, so for people who don't know, you go in, it's one big room and there's like a wall divider, but it only goes out so far on each side and only goes so far up to the top. So it's just literally a spacer. And I had got some industrial adhesive and a lighter, and I was making the biggest flame I could make out of this. Like it was ridiculous. And I just locked eyes with Eads and he went, "No, don't." And I start chasing him through the house with this like 3-foot long flame shooting off this. And he runs and shuts the door to our room. And there was only one door in. And I said, "Eads, you got 2 seconds to open this up or I'm setting the door on fire." And he went, "You won't." And the next thing you see is just this whole door on fire. He's going, "Oh God, you're going to burn the house down with me." And it stopped. And I was like trying to shoot the flame underneath the door. I set the whole door on fire, dude. We had to repaint it. It was burnt, charred black.
You gonna pick on an old ass man like that?
They're easy to chase.
Chase.
Man, I could do a whole mini series on everything that happened at 201. That place was.
It was.
I will say this, and once again, I won't mention any names, but I had been. I'll tell you about it whenever we get done recording this. But I got snapped about something that happened there. We'll say that. And I commented and said it, and she immediately knew who I was talking about, but could not remember what happened leading up to that point.
201, man. It was, I only got to come over there once or twice, but Jesus Christ, it was crazy both times.
It's whenever me and Logan Anderkin became friends, like good friends.
Yeah.
He was getting ready to leave for basic, and he was up there acting a fool, and he was puking in every toilet I had.
The one time I came up there, we played beer pong, and
the glory days.
Some sweet, gentle soul made that fucking dish of casserole, and God, that was the best chicken casserole I've ever had in my life to still this day. And I hate it because the person that made it should not be able to cook that good.
Man, yeah. They, but for sure.
God,
sure,
I just
confirm makes a good casserole.
Hate that. Beer pong, listening to the Killers. Next thing I know, I'm blowing chunks all over the roommate's fucking bathroom. And I came back and cleaned up the next day.
I'll never forget. We don't know who did it. There was a litter box in Josh's bathroom, and some grown man took a big shit in that cat's litter box. And Eads comes in concerned because he thinks something's wrong with the cat.
It's probably Eads. He's probably trying to pull one over on y'all.
Man, I wouldn't be surprised. It had to be him or Josh. Maybe Kenny, because Kenny was around then, because Kenny moved in shortly after. I couldn't see Kenny doing that though. And by all rights, it should have been me. That because I have way too much laughter in the poop humor. I get really tickled over some poop. Anything related to it.
God, the old rectal realm will always bring years of laughter for James Lefford.
Man, I can't get enough of it.
Oh, I know, Mister.
Poop jokes are funny. Fart jokes are funny. Bathroom humor is funny.
It is. It is. Man, one thing I want to invite everybody to do that's listening to this, or if anybody's listening to us, Babylon, even if you don't fucking know me, find me on Facebook and message me and just be like, man, what do you think about this band? Or what do you think about this movie? Or what do you think about this game or this book series? Just want people to just start hammering me with some pop culture questions and let me have a discussion about it, or send me some recommendations about something you might want me to do, and I'll do it, and then I can talk about it, or
vice versa, or whatever.
Or fuck, even if you guys want to come in here and sit down and talk with me,
I would
come sit and talk with us. Well, everybody's got a story, and I want to know everybody's story. But you ain't even got to be one topic. Somebody just wants to come over here and vent to me for an hour. Come vent.
Man, I'm like, once you get in here and you start doing it, like you forget there's a mic in front of your face.
Yeah.
And it's like you get over it's like, don't worry if there's dead sound or if there's something said or maybe something you don't want to be recorded. I mean, just cut it out.
Yeah.
You guys were talking about it before. And again, if anyone listening to this would be willing for it, I doubt I could get an ex-girlfriend of mine or an ex or a woman who I used to hang out with, now I don't, and have them come in here and me and her set up on the mic and she could ask all the questions maybe that she wanted to or didn't. Who, man.
If there is a lady out there that's willing to do that, I will pay you money to come in here and do it. Just message me and we can talk figures.
Or if there's a lady out there who would like to go like on a first date, I think bringing like a first date to a podcast and doing like the 20 questions style, I think that would also be entertaining.
It'd be some chops.
I mean, you get to know the real me right off the bat. Because if I started like trying to act a certain way or tried to be like something that I wasn't, you guys would be like, no, we're not doing that here. Nothing I love more than being on trial by my peers.
That's what we're here for, to tell you how bad you're fucking up. But yeah, next time you hear from us, Kennedy will be here in crystal clear, high definition sound. That is.
He had a voice that was smooth as butter.
And I just want to end with one little bit of knowledge. And if I'm not mistaken, it was John Cena that said this. Don't be afraid of what you can't see coming. John Cena, 22:30. Thank you.
John Cena.